Hey everyone, it's Todd.
And I'm Jeff.
We're two lifelong friends who decided we want to make a movie together, and I wanted to let everyone know we're actually starting a podcast as well that's going to tell all about the struggles and the triumphs and the lessons that we've learned along the way during the movie making process.
From writing the script to finding the cast to shooting the scenes and to editing the final product, you, the listener, will have behind-the-scenes access.
Plus, along the way, we'll be interviewing industry professionals to get their take on the whole process as well. So if you've ever wanted to make a movie on your own, this new podcast is for you. Make sure to head out to your favorite podcasting delivery service and look for Jeff and Todd Make a Movie and hit the follow button.
On today's Minute of the Apes, Gertie's being a good girl and laying in the sun.
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies, 1 minute at a time, and I try to get my words in as fast as I can before Richard falls asleep because he's over yawning.
I just yawned. That was I feel tired.
Did it just hit you all of a sudden?
Kinda, yeah.
Don't you hate those days where you're like, I'm okay, and then it's like, dunk.
Yeah, exactly. I just had some caffeine like 30 minutes ago, and I'm like, do I need more caffeine? Will that help, or will it do nothing?
What time did you wake up this morning?
4.
Oh, at 4:30, I rolled over and I was like, oh, I got to go back to sleep. And
I got up.
I think I got up
fed a
and
cat,
peed.
fed 2
Did
dogs.
you? Yeah. Do you get up to pee in the middle of the night?
Oh yeah,
I don't.
I drink.
It's very
but I
rare.
drink a lot of water too. So.
Okay.
And I have water by the bed. And I'm always. Drinking.
I usually get up once a night.
I am such a shitty sleeper
I
that I
you
know
were
that
gonna say I shit the bed. So maybe
no, I'm such a shitty sleeper that I know that if I wake up, I won't go back to sleep, and so I try to like stop drinking about an hour before I go to bed, just to hopefully not be there.
I get just got like cotton mouth during the night. It's not like I sleep with my mouth open, but I just get dry mouth during the night. So I have a bottle of water, just like grab it. I figured it out with eyes closed. Just grab, drink, slam, put it back down, and then a couple hours later, gotta go bathroom.
All right, all sleep talk aside, Richard, are you with us? Are you awake?
I'm awake.
Do I need to come slap your ass?
No, slap my ass.
Can I watch it? Can I watch?
All right.
That's a good thing I pee with my pants down.
Hey, we are completely going off the cliff now. All these minutes are mashing together in our heads. By the time Friday comes, who the fuck knows where we'll be? Sean, tell us where we start and where we end with minute 117.
All right, we're going to start minute 117 with Labor Supervisor Brian Rock and ends with easy for me to say, Compositing Supervisor Dorne Heubler.
All right, here it comes. Riveting 117. We still got the house music. That's the best part about it. We're going through. We got prop maker, foreman, a welding supervisor, welding foremans,
some sculptors,
mold makers. Which mold makers? That's very fascinating. I love
mold maker.
I mean, especially the old way of making models and whatnot. That actually injection molding. That's pretty cool. And here I am, the one that does the 3D printing now, and knows that's kind of eradicated.
Now we're getting into the special effects with the Rick Baker crew.
Yeah, Cinovation Studios.
Wigs and hair. Foam latex. Molds.
Trying to see if there's any interesting names in here to
I know,
call
the
out.
problem is...
Specialty
probably wouldn't know
costumes,
them
seaming and patching.
And we get over... Now with the ILM. All right.
Yeah, ILM got knocked by Sean. I would like to say that is Sean Jackson that put you down.
Yeah,
and here comes the end of that minute.
That was just a bad composite.
It was a bad
that crash.
But they're when you get into compositing, when you're completely layering elements like that, when you know what to look for, you see it every time.
And the problem is, water is really hard to simulate.
It is incredible,
especially back then.
Even today.
Today is
harder. They can do it, but
I still think about the Phantom Menace and the scenes of Naboo where you see people leaving and they have these cliff sides with water coming off, and all that is salt.
Yeah.
Because you can't miniaturize water.
No.
That's why when you see old stuff from like the 50s and stuff of a model and it always looks like a little toy in a bathtub and stuff like that because you can't make water miniaturized. So it's very hard.
You shoot a lot of slow motion with that to try to slow down and add weight to it, but it inevitably makes it looking more fake. But I loved that salt element too when I saw how they did it. But those look real. That's a pretty good effect. It comes across. Okay, I teased this yesterday what we're going to talk about today because there's not a lot to talk about. We've already ripped this film apart. We've already gotten into this. Yay for you people that got credited.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the films and where they rank for you. So we have now done 6 films.
This is the 6th one.
6. Who would like to be my first subject of telling me what your ranking is for the films? Sean, you're angling your mic. You go.
I'll do it. All right. So are we going from bottom to top or top to bottom?
Go from your worst to your favorite.
All right. So worst, I'm still going to go with Battle.
You think Battle is a worse film than this?
Yes.
Okay.
This one only wins because it's got future special effects.
Okay.
I go Battle, Conquest, this one, Tim Burton, Beneath, Escape, Planet.
Okay.
All right.
Richard?
Let's see. Let me think about this.
Okay. You're puzzler. I know.
Wait, am I going from best to least or least to best?
Worst one
the
first.
one that you disliked the most to the one that you enjoyed the most.
Oh, man.
Are we on Tuesday?
This is Wednesday.
Is this Wednesday?
Wait, no, we're on
this is
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Sorry, we're Tuesday. What day is it? I've lost track already.
Scratching at the door. Let me out. All right.
Yeah. I'm going to have to agree with Sean. I think Battle is probably my least favorite. Battle is probably my least favorite of this series. And then, I don't know. Battle. I liked elements of so many of the other ones. Battle, this one.
Okay.
The 2001 Tim Burton's is 5th. 4th would be Beneath. 3rd would be Conquest. 2nd would probably be Planet, and Escape are probably my number 1 right now.
Okay.
I think Battle suffers the most because it feels like a TV movie of the week that got upgraded to a movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
And just got a little bit more money to go from TV to movie.
So mine is easily Tim Burton is the turd in the punch bowl.
All right.
Tim Burton.
Okay.
Beneath, because all it does is try to rewrite the first and it does it poorly. Battle, because it does feel like a TV movie, but it at least keeps the spirit of what has been created before it. That's the only reason to me it goes above Beneath. Beneath is just shoddy. We're cash grabbing.
Okay.
Conquest, Escape, Planet.
Yeah.
Because to me, when I look at the films, Escape and Planet are that mirror opposite of each other. When they flip that idea, that's why they belong kind of pushed above it. They at least tried something and successfully pulled it off.
Fair.
I just think that Tim Burton's one is just such a colossal mess of no ideas. That at least Battle had ideas. It just didn't have the budget to execute.
Well, you're making me rethink my 5 and 6 for sure.
It's a hard thing.
It is a hard thing because, again, I know you're not a fan of Beneath, but I thought there was some interesting concepts
there
that they did with that. It's really hard because all 5, particularly the original films, had something really interesting or fascinating about what they were doing, what they could do, even if you overall wasn't thrilled with the product or certain elements of it or the ability to have a higher budget. There was at least something fascinating about all of them.
I think that's one of the reasons that it's hard for me because even with Beneath, even though I dislike it, as a child, I loved it when they peeled the faces off. These things that are there, it's just that when no matter how beautiful James Franciscus is and that you put him in as your avatar to Taylor, it is you're putting him in to be Taylor. It is just a reiteration. There's no originality, there's no truth until we get to the end. And when we get to the end, that's pretty compelling. It's just,
Yeah,
and it's all subjective. This may change at some point too, but to me, there's just no question. This is the worst of the films. As far as my opinion goes.
it is the one with probably the least innovative ideas.
Yeah. No, the makeup is stunning.
But the story is
set design is great.
Yeah.
It points until we get to the Earth flashback.
Well, then
forward.
we also have, you know, all of the films usually had at least one or two really standout actors, and we've got
we got few in
Helena
this.
we
Bonham.
got this one had Helen Bonham
Helena
Carter,
and Tim Roth.
until they didn't know what to do with her till the
And
last,
Michael Clark Duncan's great in his very limited role, but you're right, yes.
until the last half of the film where they didn't actually use Helena Bonham Carter at all.
Outside of that, she's supposed to suddenly be the compassionate soul that sees his
Right.
truth.
She was
and what
great
he's gonna
all the way
be.
leading up to them. It's like we talked about the fact they could have taken that journey and just reduced it down to him and a couple of other people for his.
And they
His
should have.
entourage, yeah.
Because we didn't. Paul Giamatti was done. We didn't need him
He
anymore.
didn't
You know,
need
you
anything,
think back to the original film, and it becomes, yes, you have Cornelius, you have Zira, you have Nova, and you have Taylor. That is their journey, and each of them, they're the four corners of that. You are the mute, pretty moron. You are the
regular human.
the regular human that's pretty and a bit of a moron too, because you don't understand everything. But then you have the two apes that are kind of the counter to each of those. That's a conversation. You can have that. Tell me where you can figure that out with any of the Leo type stuff and Ari, because at some point I don't know what she's questioning of him outside that she has the ability to look at what he may mean to the future civilizations, to look back and we'll know you're real, that whole conversation. I don't know what else she has to do with this story.
We get to this future storyline or this in the past storyline where Thade has now taken over, and like I think I'd said, right, all the other characters that they just jettisoned. There's no meaning behind any of the journey.
None.
You know.
Nope.
And I think that, and then, you know, I'm not trying to, this is not a winning battle. That's why I look at this film and I'm like, it just, at least battle. It seems like a TV movie, but it has a clear beginning and end. You have some of the consequences of a child's death, what that means, what it puts upon them, and the ape shall not kill ape becomes a rallying cry that means something. I can't say the same thing about the Tim Burton film. I can't find those throughputs that mean anything.
Yeah. Sorry. No, I mean I agree. It makes me want to go back and watch the first 5 films again. It honestly does. Like, I want to go back and revisit this again. And this one, I probably would not pick up again.
No.
I don't think I'll ever watch this movie again.
It was funny. I was looking because I'm going to ask you in future minutes about what you think is going to happen in the future movies, and I was saying, and I was looking about who's the director of the fourth movie and the new quadrilogy, I guess at this point, not trilogy.
Is Wes Ball directing this?
Yeah, and so it was saying, you know, how many new Planet of the Apes movies are there? And this guy said there's the first 5 Planet of the Apes films, which released between 68 and 73, and then there's 3 modern films from the 2010s that star Andy Serkis as Caesar. And they don't
even mention Tim
At the
Burton.
very end, they go, "Oh, by the way, did you know there's a TV show?" And then, "Oh, by the way, did you know there's a Tim Burton movie as well?"
Oh,
Well,
yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It was made. It kept the franchise alive on some level. And
That's a good point.
Kept it going for new audiences.
I think that franchise is such a compelling idea. A planet where our closest living relative to
Cousin, yeah.
a cousin. That's a great way of putting it. That they somehow get above us. I think that's a very compelling idea. That I think that
Not
as
being
long as you
top of the-
feed it.
Because that's a
That can
little
always
bit
be
of
there.
what a Jaws is or a Jurassic Park is, where you're no longer
King Kong.
top of the food chain.
Yeah.
Somebody else is over you now.
Again, it's a very fascinating idea. I just think in this one, you didn't dig into it. All right, those are the rankings. That is it. That is Tuesday. We have 3 more days
do
to
it.
go.
We can do this.
So we want to talk about, what was it you just said you wanted to ask? Oh, where you think it's
future
going?
movie, yeah.
We'll tease about where.
So long as you don't tell me anything.
I'm not going to tell you.
Tomorrow, let's talk about. There's a little bit of information, a little itty bitty bit. We teased it, but let's talk about why there was no sequel to this, and we know how we feel about it. But let's make that the conversation for tomorrow for Wednesday. Fair?
right.
All right. We'll be back then. Everyone, have a great day.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.